Alright, hey y'all, it is time for a June TBR video. So I have my handy dandy TBR jar here, and I'm going to mix up all the prompts because I am hoping to get a good variety of books this year and this month. So I'm going to mix these up really well. And as I did in my May TBR video, I chose 10 books. I think I'm still going to choose 10. That's way ambitious for me, for sure. And I can't say I've done the best job of reading from my TBR this month, in May. But I'm hoping that maybe June will go better. I do have some time off in June, although some of it is going to be spent watching some baseball games, which I'm super excited about. But maybe I can sneak in some reading there. So let's go with our first prompt. All right, so this one's folded up tight. I kind of feel like I might have had this one out before with how tightly. A Grumpy Sunshine Romance. So, a Grumpy Sunshine Romance. Okay. So, obviously, romance. So, let me see what I have, and then I will come back with options, and we can choose. All right, y'all. Well, I searched and searched, and I'm going to go with My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. This sounds like it could be Grumpy Sunshine, because you've got a brash bounty hunter and an energetic elementary school teacher. Sounds like he just wants to do his job. She wants to help, doesn't understand why he won't let her. So this sounds like it could be Grumpy Sunshine. We're going to go with that because I looked at like 6 other books before I came to this one. Plus, it looks like it's just under 300 pages. So it's always good to have a relatively short book on the list. So book number 1 is My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. Oh, I didn't tell you what it was about. Whoops. Okay. It was supposed to be a relaxing vacation in sweet sunny Cape Cod, just me and my beloved brother. But discovering a corpse in our rental house really throws a wrench into our tanning schedule. Now a rude, crude bounty hunter has arrived on the back of his motorcycle to catch the killer and refuses to believe I can be helpful, despite countless hours of true crime podcast listening, not to mention a fulfilling teaching career of wrangling second graders. A brash bounty hunter and an energetic elementary school teacher. The murder-solving team no one asked for, but thanks to these pesky attempts on my life, we're stuck together come hell or high tide. Then it says, I'm just here to do a job, not babysit an amateur sleuth. Although, it is becoming less and less of a hardship to have her around. Sure, she's stubborn, distracting, and can't stay out of harm's way. She's also brave and beautiful and reminds me of the home I left behind 3 years ago. In other words, the insatiable hunger and protectiveness she is waking up in me is a threat to my peace of mind. Before I sink any deeper into this dangerous attraction, I need to solve this murder and get back on the road. But will fate take her from me before I realize the road has been leading to her all along? Oh, that sounds good. Okay. I like that. I like that. It sounds pretty darn good. Okay. All right. We're going to pick another one. I'm going to dig to the bottom. Is that just one? Okay, that was 2. I dropped 1. All right. So, a Reese's book couplet. A Reese Witherspoon book club pick. Okay, so I need to grab my iPad and see if I can find a list of books and see if I have any of them. So I shall return. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. It took me a minute. I went through the whole list of Reese Witherspoon's book club picks, and I have 4 of them on my bookshelf. So I have This Is How It Always Is by Lori Frankel. The Other Woman by Sandy Jones, which was on my May TBR. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, which terrifies me. And First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. Did I say that right? Yes, Ashley Elston. So I've got 2 thrillers, a literary fiction, and a historical fiction to choose from. I hesitate. I feel like The Nightingale to me feels like a winter book. Just because it's serious and immersive, and I just don't feel like it's a summary type book. That also may just be my absolute fear of reading it. I know it's going to be amazing. I also know it's going to be heartbreaking and devastating. So I think I'm going to save this one for later. So that's one to put back. The Other Woman by Sandy Jones. I don't know why I'm hesitating to read this one so much. Like, I mean, it sounds good. It sounds good. And it is one I've had on my shelf forever. It's not particularly chunky. All right, I'm going to do this one because I've had this one longer than I've had any of these others. It was given to me by a really good friend, and I need to get to it. So we're going to say The Other Woman by Sandy Jones is my Reese Witherspoon's book club pick. And we are going to add that one to the TBR again. So that's book number 2. That is book number 2. So, next pick. All right, single pick. All right, let's see what we got. A book with a preposition in the title. So, on, in, at, etc. So let me go see what I can find. All right, so I have picked my book. I am going to go with Scratched Off by Erin Scott. I am, if you've seen my most recent reading vlog, which may go, I'm not sure if it's going to go up before or after this. I've been on a bit of a binge of Erin Scott Cozy Mysteries. And this is the one that I haven't yet read. So now I'm committing to move it to June. And it's a book with a preposition in the title. Off can be used as a preposition. So we're going to go with that because I know this is a book that I'm seriously looking forward to reading. So we are going to add that as book number 3. So to remind myself that this is book number 3, we're going to put the handy dandy iPad here as if it's a book. All right. And we're going to slip that slip of paper in the cover. All right, 3 books. Let's see what else we got. All right, so book number 4. Okay, looks like just one. We have a cover with green on it. Okay, well, one of the books I had picked earlier for a prompt is First Lie Wins. It has green in the title. I have Heartstopper Volume 3. It has some green in the backpacks. Let me see what else. Let me see if I can find 2 or 3 more to choose from, and we will then decide. All right, so as I mentioned, I was going to look for a couple more. So I did find 2 more. So one is Hopeless by Elsie Silver. Tons of green. Also got some dog tags. That's near and dear to my heart. So that is a lot of green. And then The Rose Bargain has green in the vines. As much as I want to read all of the other 3, I think I'm going to pick Hopeless by Elsie Silver. And my bestie and I, Macy, we have been reading this series together, and this is the last book. This is one we haven't read. So I think I'm going to add this one as a book with green on it because we really are ready to finish out the series so that we can start the Gold Rush Ranch series. So, Hopeless by Elsie Silver is book number 4. And I'm getting quite the stack of books here to put back. As I try, all right, we're just going to stack. We're just going to stack them here on the book cart. Okay. I'm sorry if you guys can hear incessant barking in the background. My next door neighbor has a sweet pitty named Mooney. But that dog barks and barks and barks. He's a precious, precious boy, but he barks incessantly. But we love him anyway. All right, next up, book number 5. A book with a 3-word title. So I'm thinking this would count, we would count A and the in this, right? I think so. Because it's just 3-word title. So it's not like we're trying to pick a letter or something. Okay, so let me go look. Be right back. Okay, I have found 5. That's plenty to go through. So for 3 of the last 4 prompts, I believe, First Lie Wins. I'm starting to think the universe is telling me I need to read this. It seems kind of that way. I also have Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. This is one that I've wanted to read since it came out. I loved Wrong Place, Wrong Time by her. The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith, which I have been seeing everywhere lately and sounds intriguing. Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. So this is Colin and Penelope's story from the Bridgerton universe. And then we've got Murder, She Wrote, Murder in Red. So as I also mentioned in my recent reading vlog, is I love these books. This is nostalgia for me. I used to watch the Murder, She Wrote TV show with my mom every Sunday night. And so I've been reading these books. I think this is book number 49 in the series. There are over 50 of them now. And this is one that I haven't yet read. I have a few more up there as well. So I think since it keeps coming up, I think we're going to go with First Lie Wins. Because this has come up 3 times out of the 5 books that I've picked out of the TBR jar so far. So I think we're going to do First Lie Wins as our book with a 3-word title. Alright, so we've got 5 of our books chosen. We're halfway there. Let's see what else we come up with. Turn my head away. Okay, that's just one. Alrighty. Oh, this is a handwritten one. A book you've been putting off. Interesting. I mean, that feels like that could go for just about anything on my shelves, huh? I think we're going to go with Binding 13 because I had started this one and I keep putting it down because I'm scared of the emotional damage that it's going to do. But I really want to read it. It's that push and pull. It's kind of like The Nightingale, but I feel like this is one that I'm even more excited about reading since it's the start of a series. So we're going to go with Binding 13 as a book I've been putting off since I keep putting it down. Alrighty, so that's 6. Let's pick number 7. That one didn't take long. Didn't even have to pause to go find things. Let's see what we got here. A book with a bright colored cover. Okay, a bright colored cover. All right, let me see what I can find. All right, I am back with 5 more this time. So let's go through the ones I've chosen and we'll make some decisions. So first, got The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. That bright yellow. I don't know that you can get much brighter than that. So that's one. We have We Are Not Like Them by Christine Pride and Joe Piazza. So this is literary fiction. So Catherine Center is romance. This is literary fiction. Looks like it's a Good Morning America book club pick. So there's that one. I'll read, if we choose that one, I'll read the synopsis. Red, White, and Royal Blue. So this, I think everybody is aware of this one. So this is an LGBTQIA plus romance. Male in this instance. We have the Happy Ever After playlist, which is the second in the Friend Zone interconnected standalone trilogy. I can't really say a whole lot about this one without giving away something major in the first book, but I have read the Friend Zone, so this is the next one in that. And then Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, which I have heard so much about. It's kind of like Binding 13. I think this one's probably going to drive me crazy, maybe more than devastate me, although it may do that too. But it's one I definitely have on my list to read. So this is 3 romance, 1 toxic relationships, I'm going to say, and then 1 literary fiction. I've already got Binding 13, which I feel like is going to be emotionally intense. So I think I'm going to say no to Magnolia Parks because I know this one's one I probably need to have my mental health in good shape for to deal with toxicity. The Happy Ever After playlist. Again, I don't want to say too much about it, but I think there's going to be a heavy through line of grief in this one, and I don't think I'm in the headspace for that right now. Red, White, and Royal Blue. I've been wanting to read this. I've heard so many mixed things about it. Like my bestie Macy couldn't get through this one. She DNF'd this. But then I've heard so many creators that I really enjoy have loved it. So I'm curious to see if I love it or hate it, depending on, who's my taste more like. Although I tend to think it's probably going to be more like Macy's, because we definitely have agreed on the Chestnut Springs books and several others over the years. So that's that one. So We Are Not Like Them. This one's going to be a little bit heavier. So let me read the blurb for this one. Told from alternating perspectives, We Are Not Like Them is a riveting and compassionate novel about the lifelong bond between two women, one black and one white, whose friendship is indelibly altered by a tragic event. Jen and Riley have been best friends since kindergarten. As adults, they remain as close as sisters, though their lives have gone in different directions. Jen married young, and after years of trying, is finally pregnant. Riley pursued her childhood dream of being a television journalist and is poised to become one of the first black female anchors of the top news channel in their hometown of Philadelphia. But the deep connection they share is severely tested when Jen's husband, a city police officer, is involved in the shooting of an unarmed black teenager. Since 6 months pregnant, Jen is in free fall as her future, her husband's freedom, and her friendship with Riley are thrown into uncertainty. Covering this career-making story, Riley wrestles with the implications of this tragic incident for her black community, her ambitions, and her relationship with her lifelong friend. We Are Not Like Them explores complex questions of race and how they pervade and shape our most intimate spaces in a deeply divided world. But at its heart, it's a story of enduring friendship, a love that defies the odds even as it faces its most difficult challenges. I believe this one's also going to be heart-wrenching, but it sounds like it sounds really as a really important thing to read, especially in the times that we live in, especially here in the U.S. right now. And then the third option is The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, and to my knowledge, her books are considered closed door. Some people call it chaste, some people call it clean, and I really hate that term. Because that's saying that spicy scenes are dirty, and I don't believe that. I don't think that's a fair assessment. So, anyway, so these are considered closed door, meaning romance, that none of the intimacy happens on the page. It's fade to black. Maybe not even, I don't even know if it's hinted at. Yeah, it might be hinted at, but not, you don't see anything. You don't read anything. So here's the synopsis of this one. She's got his back. Hannah Brooks looks more like a kindergarten teacher than somebody who could kill you with a corkscrew or a ballpoint pen or a dinner napkin. But the truth is she's an executive protection agent, aka bodyguard, and she just got hired to protect superstar actor Jack Stapleton from his middle-aged corgi breeding stalker. He's got her heart. Jack Stapleton's a household name. He's captured by paparazzi on beaches the world over and famous for, among other things, rising out of the waves in all manner of clingy board shorts and glistening like a Roman deity. But a few years back, in the wake of a family tragedy, he dropped from the public eye and went off the grid. They've got a secret. When Jack's mom gets sick, he goes home to the family's Texas ranch to help out. Only one catch. He doesn't want his family to know about his stalker or the bodyguard thing. And so Hannah, against her will and better judgment, finds herself pretending to be Jack's girlfriend as a cover, even though her ex says no one will believe it. What could possibly go wrong? Hannah hardly believes it herself, but the more time she spends with Jack, the more real it all starts to seem. And therein lies the heartbreak, because it's easy for Hannah to protect Jack, but protecting her own long-neglected heart, that's the hardest thing she's ever done. So this sounds like, this is bodyguard and the person who needs to be protected. But it's a reverse because the woman is the bodyguard, which is somewhat unusual. And it's going to be forced proximity, fake dating. So that's this one. And now it's like, okay, do I want what sounds like maybe a more lighthearted, fun, rom-com-y type of romance? A heavy-hitting literary fiction? Or another romance with male? This is a really hard choice because all of these have very valid options. I'm thinking if I go with like strictly the prompt, this has the least bright cover. I feel like these two are brighter. This is pink, but it's not like super, super bright. So that's got me down to literary fiction or romance. I think, excuse me, I have 2 romances on my list already, and I have no literary fiction. So we're going to put We Are Not Like Them on the TBR for a book with a bright colored cover, which I think is kind of unfair because I don't think there's going to be anything light and happy about this book. But it sounds like it would be really good and really timely. And that's important stuff to work into the reading because I want to be well-rounded in my reading. So that is number 7. So we got 3 more to pick. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. The most recent add to your TBR. So that would be one of the books I bought my last shopping trip. Let me grab those real quick. Okay, so I got my 4 books I bought my last trip to my favorite independent bookstore in Lynchburg called Given's Books. So first up is Legend Born by Tracy Dion. I've been wanting to read this one for quite a while, and I was listening to a podcast, I think the day I was driving down to see my mom and pick her up when we went to Lynchburg for the day, and they were talking about that book and how good it was and how they have torn through, I think it's a trilogy, and they've torn through all of them, or maybe it's a series and they've torn through the 3 that are out. So there's that one. Caraval by Stephanie Garber. So I've been hearing about this one forever. Obviously, it's also a super popular one on BookTube and Book Talk. So it's a carnival themed romantasy, dark romantasy is what, and it looks like it's YA as well. And I think Legend Born is also YA. Then we've got The Snowman by Joe Nesbo. So I heard about this author. He's from Scandinavia. I heard about him on a podcast called Criminal Types, which if you are a mystery thriller person, I highly recommend that podcast. She interviews a lot of really popular mystery and thriller authors. And this is her favorite, the host of that show. This is her favorite author. And so I wanted to give his book a try. I found it in the used section at my bookstore. And so I decided I'd give it a try because it was like $7. That's not bad. I'm willing to give it a try for that. And then the last one on that list is The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. So those are the 4 that I have. And I truly want to read one of the 3 fantasies. I have to say, I already have 2 thrillers and a cozy mystery on my list. So I think I'm going to save Mr. Nesbo for later. So that leaves me with The Rose Bargain, Caraval, and Legend Born. And I want to read all 3 of them. I also don't have any fantasy on my list yet either. So yeah, definitely want to choose one of these. And now to decide which one. So The Rose Bargain, I think, is a first in a series. With the others not being out yet. Caraval is a completed trilogy, and Legend Born is either a completed trilogy or an in-progress series with 3 books out. So I'm trying to decide. You know what? I think I'm going to go with The Rose Bargain. It's the one that keeps calling me. I've pulled it for another prompt earlier, and it's one I've been seeing everywhere, and the FOMO is real. So I think I'm going to pull The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. So let me read the synopsis of what this one is about real quick. Okay, high society girls are expected to bargain for qualities that will win them suitors. A rare talent for piano in exchange for one's happiest childhood memory. A perfect smile for one's ability to taste. But Ivy's debut season arrives with a shocking twist. A competition to marry the Queen's fey son, Prince Bram. It's a prize that could save Ivy's family from ruin and free her older sister from the bargain that destroyed her. Yet every glittering fey deal has a rotting heart, and amidst lavish balls, vicious competition, and a dangerous alliance with the prince's rakish younger brother, Prince Emmett, Ivy realizes that at the center of this contest lies a dark plot that could destroy all of England, and her heart with it. So I am intrigued by this one for sure. It sounds like it could be really fun. I love competitions. I think that's one of the reasons so many of us like fantasy and romantasy, because we like that element. And it being, pretty high stakes. So we're going to go with The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. So that is book 8. 2 more to go. It's looking like a pretty good list of options to choose from. Because as a reminder, I don't intend to read all of these because that would be a to-do list. These are my first options to pick from when I'm ready for a new book, because I can't make it a to-do list. A thriller book. Okay, a thriller. Yeah. So, I've already got a couple on the list, so I need to choose wisely on this one. So let me grab a couple of options and I'll be right back. As I turned around to look at my shelves, I was like, why am I even acting like they're choices? I want to read Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. I loved her last book, Wrong Place, Wrong Time. It was, I think it was my first 5-star read either last year or the year before. I really enjoyed it. So I think this is the one we're going to read. So let me give you the synopsis of this one. It is June 21st, the longest day of the year, and new mother Camilla's life is about to change forever. After months of maternity leave, she will drop her infant daughter off at daycare for the first time and return to her job as a literary agent, finally. But when she wakes, her husband Luke isn't there, and in his place is a cryptic note. Then it starts. Breaking news, there's a hostage situation developing in London. The police arrive and tell her Luke is involved, but he isn't a hostage. Her husband, doting father, eternal optimist, is the gunman. What she does next is crucial, because only she knows what the note he left behind that morning says. Famous Last Words is a story of a crime, a marriage, and more secrets than Camilla ever could have imagined. This sounds so good. I cannot wait. This might be the first thing I pick up in the new month. I'm not going to lie. It's, it's one I've been really wanting to read and just haven't, because that's what I do. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. Number 10. So this is our final book. Okay. Final book. A book with alternating timelines. Okay, alternating timelines. I know I have a couple for sure by one particular author, but let me see what else I can find. Okay, so I didn't want to spend a ton of time looking because I know I've been wanting to read more by this particular author, Kate Morton. So The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton is the book I'm going to choose. All of her books have a past and present timeline. So I've read 3 by her. I've read The Distant Hours, House at Riverton, and The Secret Keeper, and they're all 3 amazing. So let me read you the synopsis of this one. A tiny girl is abandoned on a ship headed for Australia in 1913. She arrives completely alone with nothing but a small suitcase containing a few clothes and a single book, a beautiful volume of fairy tales. She is taken in by the dockmaster and his wife and raised as their own. On her 21st birthday, they tell her the truth, and with her sense of self shattered and very little to go on, Nell sets out to trace her real identity. Her quest leads her to Blackhurst Manor on the Cornish coast and the secrets of the doomed Mountrachet family. It's spelled Mount Ratchet, but that doesn't seem like it could be right. But it is not until her granddaughter Cassandra takes up the search after Nell's death that all the pieces of the puzzle are assembled. A spellbinding tale of mystery and self-discovery, The Forgotten Garden will take hold of your imagination and never let go. So I'm super excited about this one. It is a chonker, but I'm super excited about it. Like I said, I've loved the 3 books I've read by this author, and I've heard a lot of reviews over the years of people saying that this is their favorite or one of their favorites. And so I'm looking forward to adding it to the list. It also gives me something a little different because this will be historical fiction. So I have a very good variety on June's TBR. So let's go through it really quickly. So first we have A Grumpy Sunshine romance. So I picked My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. Number 2 was Reese Witherspoon's book club pick, And the Other Woman by Sandy Jones. Number 3, as I knock everything over, number 3 is a book with a preposition in the title, and I am choosing Scratched Off by Erin Scott, which I do not have a physical copy of. It's on KU. All of her books are on Kindle Unlimited, by the way. So the next one is a cover with green on it. Well, this whole cover is green. Hopeless by Elsie Silver. So Macy and I can finish this series, Chestnut Springs. I'm super excited to finish it. The next one, a book with a 3-word title, First Lie Wins by Ashley Elston. I don't think I read the synopsis. I don't think I read the synopsis for several of these. So this is about, I believe this is about stolen identities or something like that. Why don't we just read it? It'll be easier. The identity comes first. Evie Porter. Once she's given a name and location by her mysterious boss, Mr. Smith, she learns everything there is to know about the town and the people in it. Then the mark, Ryan Sumner. The last piece of the puzzle is the job. Evie isn't privy to Mr. Smith's real identity, but she knows this job isn't like the others. Ryan has gotten under her skin, and she's starting to envision a different sort of life for herself. But Evie can't make any mistakes, especially after what happened last time. Evie Porter must stay one step ahead of her past while making sure there's still a future in front of her. The stakes couldn't be higher, but then Evie has always liked a challenge. So it says, Evie Porter has everything a nice Southern girl could want. A doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight new group of friends. The only catch, Evie Porter doesn't exist. So I'm really excited about this one. Hopeless. So this is Beau's story. So Beau Eaton is the last brother of the Eaton family to not have had his love story, and that is his. So I'll read the back. Okay. Beau Eaton is the town prince, a handsome military hero with a tortured past. Bailey Jansen is the outcast bartender, a shy girl from the wrong side of the tracks. He's 35 and all man. She's 22 and all virgin. He's also her fiance. Correction, her fake fiance. It starts out as a bet, a point for Beau to prove, and it's a win-win. Beau gets a break from his concerned family's prying, and Bailey gets a chance to shed her family's reputation while she saves up to ditch this small town for good. And all she has to do is wear his ring, follow his lead, and pretend she can't keep her hands off of him in public. Easy enough, right? But it's what happens between them in private that blurs all those carefully drawn lines. It's what transpires behind closed doors that doesn't feel like pretending at all. This engagement was supposed to be for show. This agreement, it has an end date. Beau once told Bailey he'd never fall in love. She's determined to make him change his mind. I'm excited. I love that town. So then we've got Scratched Off. Let me see if I can find the synopsis of this one. The killer is playing a game of cat and mouse. The cat scratch killer has local criminals on edge in the quaint town of Button. Murdering men who walk free without doing the time they deserve, the killer leaves her calling card, a single scratch, along the cheek of her victims. To no one's surprise, Lou is the unlucky person who discovers the killer's next victim. Lou is Louisa. Now I can't remember her last name. She is the owner of the Whiskers and Words bookstore, where she has books for sale and also has cats up for adoption. Detective West believes the killer is an insider in the local police department, someone tired of bureaucracy getting in the way of justice. The police captain has asked the detective to keep his investigation quiet around the station, so he enlists Lou's help to suss out the person responsible. So Detective West, his name is actually Easton West, which I just realized sounds really bad. But anyway, he is a police detective, and he lives next door to Lou's best friend, Willow. Will Lou and Easton be able to catch the serial murderer before they scratch another victim off their list? So the bottom just is a little description. Dear reader, if you love rescue cats, goats who wear pajamas, and a cozy bookstore, you're going to love this series by Aaron Scott. Hold on to your hats. The town of Button is as cute as they come, but that doesn't mean it's free of murder. Each book and mystery stands alone. Curl up under a cozy blanket, cuddle with a cat or two, and come join Lou as she solves mysteries in the town of Button. So I'm excited about this one because I do adore this series, and this will have me caught up on it again, which I've already been caught up once this year, but she keeps releasing books, and I think another one's coming out in like 3 months. The Other Woman, I don't think I read the synopsis of this either. He loves you. Adam adores Emily. Emily thinks Adam's perfect, the man she thought she'd never meet. But she loves you not. Lurking in the shadows is a rival, a woman who shares a deep bond with the man she loves, and she'll stop at nothing. Emily chose Adam, but she didn't choose his mother, Pammy. There's nothing a mother wouldn't do for her son, and now Emily is about to find out just how far Pammy will go to get what she wants. Emily gone forever. The Other Woman will have you questioning her on every page in this fiendishly twisty psychological thriller about a man, his new girlfriend, and the mother who will never let him go. Eek! All right, so that's the first 5. Okay, first half. Yeah. So Binding 13 is the one for a book you've been putting off because I keep delaying reading this. So let's go to the synopsis of this. Johnny Cavanaugh has everything going for him. On the rugby pitch, he's a force to be reckoned with, even plagued with a hidden injury. Everyone knows he's headed straight for the top, but that means there's no room for mistakes or distractions. Not even the shy new girl at Tommen College, the one with the sad eyes and concealed bruises. He needs to stay focused, keep his cool, and not let anything get in the way of the bigger picture. Except before he knows it, this lonely girl has become his only picture. Life has never been easy for Shannon Lynch. Bullied and tortured, she arrives at Tommen College midway through the school year, praying for a fresh start and desperate to shake off the demons that plague her. But when she meets the notorious Johnny Cavanaugh on her first day, her plans to keep a low profile are at serious risk. As they fall into a complicated friendship and grapple with their undeniable chemistry, hidden pain and complicated secrets threaten to be their undoing, but Johnny won't give up on Shannon, no matter what it might cost them both. So, looking forward / terrified of the devastation that is to come. Up next, so this is book number 7. Yeah, 7. I can count, sort of. A book with a bright colored cover, We Are Not Like Them, by Christine Pride and Joe Piazza. Then we have The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith for the prompt, the most recent add to your TBR. So this is one of the 4 most recent editions. Then we have book number 9, which is a thriller, Famous Last Words by Gillian McAllister. And then last but not least, we have a book with alternating timelines, The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. So, 10 books to choose from for the month of June. I'm super excited for that. Also, we'll be back shortly with the reading wrap-up for May. It was varying levels of success. We'll just put it that way. But I look forward to coming back for that and talking to you all then. Until then, I hope y'all are having a great time with whatever you're reading, and I will see you soon. Bye!